Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to the second taping of our view, or of the Londonderry View. This is our second show, is what I was trying to say. And I'm Sherry, and we also have Kirby, Kathy, and Bonnie. For this, our second show, we're looking forward to, we have an exceptional guest speaker, our first guest speaker, and we just wanted to give you a little recap of how the Londonderry View started. It's an idea that started many years ago, but bringing 4 women together from different backgrounds and at all different stages is something that really requires the right group of women. And maybe about almost a year ago now, all of us were walking out of an event together, and we started talking about, it was a political event, about all of the energy, what we liked, what we didn't like, and even though we were in a crowded room and we're trying to, make our way to the exit, we had so much to say together, and we were laughing and we were debating and discussing, and right then and there a light bulb went off for all of us, and we just said, wow, the Londonderry View, and it really came to be. So for tonight, our goal with the View is that we want to talk to you about and share our ideas and thoughts with you about local happenings in town here in Londonderry and also across our great state of New Hampshire, and also other national issues that are going on. So we're going to start with a couple local things that we just wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so we have some local happenings. I don't know if you've been to the senior center, but we have an addition going on, and they're building it very quickly. They were actually getting the roof was put on one side today.
I've seen pictures. So is it one section, or are there 2 sections?
It's a couple different sections. Off the kitchen, we're extending the kitchen, so that's a nice size. And then in the back of the building, off the back of the stage, we're adding activity rooms, a health clinic room.
Wow.
And then off the main dining room, we're adding a mechanical room and a 3rd bathroom, which is sorely needed.
Sorely.
Is that for men and women?
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be
All
a
right.
unisex bathroom, and but
And a new office for Kathy.
yes, and I'm getting a new office bigger than the size of a closet. Woohoo!
So I'm moving in.
There you go.
So that's very exciting. And we have some things coming up. I guess, would you like to talk about the ice cream social?
Sure. We have an ice cream social coming up, and that's on the 18th, and it's $5. All you can eat ice cream with all the toppings, and all our ice cream is donated by Moose
Are they
in
prepared
Derry.
for me to eat a lot?
Yep, they have lots of it.
You have to
Good.
take your lunch
Yep.
break
Ice
that day.
cream's my favorite. Yeah, that'll be my lunch.
That'll be your lunch.
Yeah.
That will be my lunch.
Make an
Yeah.
ice cream sundae.
Nice and sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a fundraiser to help us to get all the stuff we need for our new edition.
That's awesome.
So
And
it should work
toppings
out
and-
good. All kinds of toppings,
Hope they know
hot
what they're in
fudge
for.
and strawberries, whipped cream. We do well with that. Last year we had, over 100 people. They just come in off the street. Anybody can come.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
As long
anybody.
as they pay their $5 a year
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
fundraiser.
that's-
They
key.
can bring their grandchildren, their children, high school kids. It's really a great fundraiser.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
I
And
feel
it's
like more
from
people.
12:30 to
I
2:30.
feel like more people would get people if they had fundraisers regarding food rather
Yeah.
than buying tickets to see a band. So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see
Good
what
idea.
happens.
And who doesn't like ice cream?
Oh, especially this
You're
time
not
of
human.
year.
Yeah.
That's right. Funny, that'll
And
be
then
fun.
we also have our Old Home Week.
Old home days.
So that starts on
Is it the 17th?
the 17th. It starts with the senior cookout.
Which is a really great opportunity.
Right, and if you're a senior and you live in Londonderry, you can stop by the senior center and get your free tickets, which is a big plus.
55 and
it-
older, right?
I was just
Bonnie?
going to ask
Right.
what the
50,
age.
yeah, 55
Yeah.
and older.
But you have to live in Londonderry. And the second thing they're doing is they're going to have the band across the street afterwards, after the cookout.
Is that at the Commons?
Yes.
Very nice.
And if it rains,
Which it
it's
has every
in
year.
the high school.
We're gonna
But
go to high
it's
school.
nice in
Yeah.
there too, because then you've
People
got the
can
band
enjoy it while
in
they
there.
eat still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So it works out good. And then on, excuse me, they're going to have kids' night, and they're going to have the fire and the police are doing a softball game.
And that's on Friday, right?
That's on
Yeah.
Friday. And then fireworks and a band afterwards.
That's always my favorite night of Old Home Day is the fireworks. Because
Really?
we don't have 4th of July fireworks, so everyone looks forward to the Old Home Day fireworks. So
And you
it's
always
nice.
see people that you haven't seen in
Yes.
years, and the little ones, how they've grown up, and it's just a great, great night always.
yeah.
And the fireworks are superb. I mean, our
Yes.
fireworks are incredible, so great night.
And then on Saturday, we're going to have a parade. 10 o'clock.
I heard
and
it's
the
going to be
parade's
very good this year.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is. That everybody enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
And they have a road race before the parade.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, and then
Starting at 8.
you've got all the booths at
That's
the Commons for everybody to enjoy all the different stuff.
the beer tent at the Lions Hall.
Yeah,
they
and
have
then
that? Really?
Yep,
They
they have
brought it
that.
back last year, and
Yeah.
it was such a success.
It was a
Kirby.
very
It really
big
was.
success last year.
Yeah.
So.
So is there food served at the Lions?
The Lions Club provides the
best.
food,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they'll
Do they-
grill hamburgers and hot dogs.
Okay, so
And
they grill.
sausage sandwiches.
And I think
and-
I actually don't know the price, but I think it's relatively cheap. It's like $3 to $5 for a meal,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's pretty nice.
the
yeah.
best
And then they have
cheeseburgers
fried
and-
dough.
Wait, they have
Oh.
fried dough?
Oh, yeah, right at the.
Where was
not
I
at the
last
Lions
year?
Club.
Oh, okay.
Across
that's
the street
where
on the
Across the
common.
See, Bonnie,
yeah.
that's where I
On the
spent
common.
most of my time last
They
year. So
have what they call St. Jude's Church.
yeah,
That's right.
They
yes.
do sloppy Judes.
Oh, that I forgot about the
That's how
sloppy
they
Jews.
name
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
awesome.
amazing, really, really good,
So
delicious.
there's a lot going on, so I hope everybody can make it
coming
there.
up in
Oh.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's just
It's my favorite time of the year, more
I
than
agree.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Old Home Day.
one year we had to be away for a wedding, and it was so hard to be away because it's just an amazing time
Yeah.
in
Something
town.
that you look
It's
forward
so
Yeah,
to.
it's
different.
just
And
great.
you see everybody.
You really do.
Everybody.
I've been to a couple Old Home Days, having worked in politics, and I will say Londonderry has like the best Old Home Day celebration. The busiest, the best, the most coordinated, the best events.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always impressed, even before I ever came to Londonderry, when I marched in the parade for political candidates. I was always impressed with
Boy.
what Londonderry had to offer for Old Home Day. So,
Now, when they do kids' night, what do they offer for the children?
they offer movies. I forget what the movie is that they're airing this year, but it's usually just a movie. They've got some refreshments.
And they do that outside?
They do that over at the Common.
Yeah,
Yep.
and jumpy houses
Yep.
and petting zoos
Yeah.
where the little ones can go in, and horsey rides. It's just
Yeah.
it really will keep the children occupied for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Usually, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Really.
I even enjoyed it last year as a 25-year-old. It was fun.
Don't tell me you went on the horsey ride.
No, I went to the bouncy house. No, I'm just kidding. So
It'll
it's a
be
really
great. Hope to see you there. It's really
Yeah.
a
It would
wonderful
be
time.
very good to see
Yeah.
everybody there.
yeah. Last time we were talking about Old Home Day was when we went to the La Coretta opening
Oh,
Right.
recently, which is we have a lot of nice new restaurants coming into town, and I think it's really great because it's bringing more people from the surrounding towns into town too. So I was very impressed with the La Coretta opening, and I'm a big fan of their food. So
The food was
Yeah, the
delicious.
food was delicious.
And it was
Food is
nice the four
delicious.
of us
Good
were there
atmosphere.
together, which
And
was
that's
great.
the first time I ever went to their restaurant. I'd never been to the one in Derry.
Oh, there.
And I was
Very
really impressed
She
with
doesn't
it.
eat Mexican
I'm
food,
not a
but
Mexican foodie.
Well, now
but
are you?
Now, yeah, kind of.
come on, those margaritas.
I like the taco salad.
The taco salad's
That's
definitely
what we
good.
had, Bonnie.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it really was very
And
good.
it was nice to kind of be there, all of four of us, like outside of this
really
outside of
Right.
work,
venue
yeah, this
and
was
outside of work.
We
so.
shared with people that the
Yeah.
Londonderry View was going to be broadcast soon, and
Right.
a lot of nice comments. So, but it was
was a
great
really
to
good
have a new place in
opportunity.
town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as new restaurants come to the area and new businesses, we love to share them and hope to visit them too. But
Yeah.
that was fun.
Well, I think we should talk a little bit about our guest speaker tonight. It is Lisa Ouellet, and she is a psychic medium. She lives up in Manchester, and she's going to be here, and we can ask her all kinds of questions, how she got started and everything. Lisa's also a certified Reiki master, and
cool.
I don't know what integrated energy therapist is, but
We'll ask.
We'll have to ask her about that as well. But I think what we'll do is take a break and then come back with our guest.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back. And I'd like to introduce Lisa to the group.
Hi, Lisa.
Thanks for coming.
You're our first guest, so this is an honor
is
for us
exciting
to have
for
you
me.
here for us. And I'm sure we might stumble a little, but thank you. This is exciting.
This is exciting to be here for me as well.
And I met Lisa at the center. I found her on the website, and she came to a craft fair. And a lot of people did readings with her, and they were all so happy with the readings. They were, and I was one, and
I
Kathy
was
was
one.
another. Yeah,
And she
so,
was right on with what she told me.
That's awesome.
yes.
You were.
And we heard a lot through the town, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, now
it
Sherry
is.
and I want ours
Yes,
done.
we
So.
And I've actually been back to see Lisa, and what she told me, and I didn't say anything to her. She just said to me something, and again, it was spot on. And
validation of what had happened.
Yes,
In
exactly.
the time that I hadn't seen you.
yeah.
I like it when my guards are on.
Yeah.
So what got you into this? Like, how did it come about?
You
for
know, growing up, I didn't know that I had psychic ability. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about that really specifically in my house. Like nobody, my grandmother passed when I was 3, and I learned later on that she used to read.
That's so
she used to
cool.
read regular cards as well, but I didn't know that growing up. And I just had an affinity for astrology and numerology and palmistry, and that kind of just led me to just kind of into, I think they're all kind of, any metaphysical studies seem to be a little interrelated, but I just thought I was a good guesser growing up. We used to play games as kids, board games and Battleship, and I always used to know where the other ships were, and I just used to think I was a really good guesser.
So I'm going to use you next time I play.
Right?
Do you do things like that?
That's exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was. I just thought, oh, I'm really good at guessing.
So when did it really come about? Like, what age were you at that it really?
I think when I was around 18, I started to really get into it. I started maybe 17, 18. I started to read books on it. I taught myself how to read a regular deck of playing cards. So
That's
I
so
remember, just reading friends and stuff. Like the Ace of Hearts means this, and the 6 of Diamonds means this, or whatever. And then I had my daughter around the time I was 23. I kind of stopped getting into that kind of thing for a little while. I just kind of was focused on raising her. And then in my 30s again, I started taking energy classes. So I started doing Reiki and magnified healing and things like that. And every time I had my hands on people working with energy, my intuition got stronger. Every time I got an attunement, my intuition got stronger. I'd have my hands on somebody, I'd be working on them, and I'd hear like they have 2 children or 2 boys and a girl or whatever it was. And so what I'd do would just ask them, and it would be validation for me. So it was really neat.
That is so
That's
cool.
very specific, too.
Yeah,
That's very specific.
Have you ever told somebody something without them asking you to, and kind of almost as like a messenger?
No, I
In
don't
a
believe.
way,
I
or
personally don't believe.
how does that
in-
work?
I believe that you come to me if you want answers.
yeah.
But I know there's a lot of TV shows out there that portray people walking down the street and just randomly giving out psychic readings. But what they don't realize is those people have signed waivers. It's not really. I don't believe it's not
doesn't-
ethical to just
yeah.
go up to somebody because they might have religious beliefs that you don't
Yeah,
know about. So
yeah.
I only give
yeah, that's
readings and
awesome.
read people that are asking me for
That's
that
so
information.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so. Now? What is Reiki too?
Reiki it's an energy. You know, again, I don't know what people's religious beliefs are, but I was raised Catholic, but I'm a spiritualist. I believe it's an energy that comes through God. You know, God, it's a God-given gift.
Yeah.
But it's an energy that radiates through me, and I put my hands on you, and
Yeah.
you can get rid of arthritis. You can reduce inflammation.
That's so cool.
I worked on people that have had migraines, and I can put my hands on their head for
Oh, hold on. Here you go.
15 minutes and get rid of their migraine in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it has a lot of different, and it's good for rest and relaxation too
Yeah.
if you're stressed out.
Yeah.
So it reduces inflammation, ailments, stress relief,
Yeah,
you know.
that's so
Lots
cool.
of benefits from it.
That's so neat.
And lots of hospitals do it now too.
I was
it didn't
gonna
use-
say
it didn't
Concord
used to be that
Hospital
well
does
known,
it.
but now
Yeah.
Right.
the Ouellet does as well too. So
Yeah, that's
it's becoming
really
more
awesome.
mainstream.
Yeah, which is really cool. Have you ever gotten asked to go to the hospitals?
No, I haven't personally, but
Yeah.
I do know people that do it in
That's so
hospitals.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so neat. Oh my goodness. So how old's your daughter now?
My daughter's 25, and I have 2 little grandkids who I'm
Stop.
thinking of-
You look like you're in your 30s.
Well, thank you. I'm thinking of taking my grandkids to the ice cream social, so I'm excited.
Your daughter's my age. How is that possible? You have good genes.
I do have good
That's
genes.
it. That's right. That's, oh
So
my
that's
goodness.
really awesome. So
And how long would a regular reading be? Like,
I offer 2 sessions. I offer a half hour and an hour session.
very
Yeah.
nice.
So generally, if you've never had one, maybe a half hour is sufficient. But if you have a lot of questions, sometimes an hour is more
Yeah.
beneficial. And then as a follow up, maybe you just need a half
That's
hour.
really cool.
Yeah.
So and then people don't tell you anything. They just come in and. Or do they
Gener-
give you some kind of a background?
Everybody has their own different way that they
Yeah.
want to do things. Some people like to ask questions. Some people go in with specific questions in mind.
Wow.
And some
so
people
cool.
just want to randomly hear whatever I have to say.
Yeah.
So,
That's actually what mine was. I wanted to see
Whatever.
if you could speak to
Sure.
somebody that
And
had
you,
passed.
and it's interesting. You got a mediumship reading, and that's not my strength. That's not my strong suit, because there's a difference between psychics and mediums. And mediumship is not my strongest gift. So you got really lucky that day because your guy, who I don't know if I can say who came through for you, but the person that came through for you was super strong, because I can't necessarily gauge my mediumship, but I mostly do the psychic work. But your person on the other side was
was
so
my
strong.
husband.
Your husband.
Oh,
He was
Bonnie, I
so
was
it was
wondering.
unbelievable.
he was so strong that I couldn't deny him coming through.
They kept saying that you were so spot on with everything.
Oh, it
that's
was.
They were like, we
Yeah.
have to have her on the show.
right, absolutely.
It was amazing. I mean, I went home that night after that read and I slept. I mean, I
of
haven't
mind,
slept.
right? At peace.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Closure.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is
It really was.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, it
So-
was.
One of the experiences that I just had with Lisa was she was saying about the she was seeing a flower, or she was saying something about a rose,
right.
and I was trying to think, and I was like, oh, my great grandmother's name was Rose. And so my great grandmother was, like coming through. So I said, "Oh, wait, while you've got her," I said, "I need to find out what was her secret ingredient for the tomato sauce, because it had a distinct flavor. I remember it still from when I was a child, and my mother doesn't recall, what it was. And my grandmother is passed, and so she said, it's buzz, something buzz," and I'm going, basil. She's like, no, she's saying buzz, something buzz. So I was like, okay. Well, the next day I Googled, how do you say basilico? Because that's Italian for basil. Well, when the recording comes on Google, it's buzz. He said basilico.
Oh,
and
nice
I was like,
confirmation.
and I went flying out to her. You're not going to believe this.
Great.
Awesome.
I didn't know that, so that's good.
Yeah. So, because you kept saying to me, no, buzz, it's buzz.
well, sometimes they're really adamant when they talk.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're not listening to me.
Yeah, so,
That's
and I'm
something.
thinking basilico, I was saying it wrong. So when I Googled how do you pronounce
buzz.
it, it was
said
definitely buzz. And I'm-
Basilico?
yeah, and I flew out to her desk to tell her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you used to have a radio show too.
I did a couple years ago.
So did people like call in to you on the radio show? Or?
I didn't do a lot of call-ins.
Oh, okay.
I did do some call-ins,
Yeah.
but it was mostly, my
That's
show
so
was
cool.
called Empowering Your Soul, and it was just to
Yeah.
get the message out there
Yeah.
about empowerment, because I'm all about,
It was an informational.
it was. I had guests on as well, too,
That's
and
awesome.
just trying to get the holistic message out there.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
I'll
It's
tell
on
you,
YouTube if you ever anybody wants to
Actually,
watch it.
yeah.
the day that I had seen her at the center, for the craft fair, I was debating, whether to do it, because I've never gone to
Right.
anyone before. And I just never believed in it before, to be truthful.
Happens a lot.
And I was like, you know how I was when I come out. It was like
Very
unbelievable.
You were
I
very
was very emotional. I couldn't believe the things she said that were so true to his
Specific.
beliefs. Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
feel like
Oh
people
my
don't believe it
gosh.
until they actually
Right.
experience
And that
it.
happens a
Yeah,
lot.
Then when they
definitely.
experience
I mean,
it-
and she knew nothing about
Yeah.
me, so it couldn't be anything that she knew about
Right.
me.
Ahead
Yeah,
of time
that's
or
so cool.
Oh,
So one of the questions that we had written down too was, what is the difference between angel cards versus tarot cards?
Sure. I read angel cards
Okay.
specifically
Yeah.
because I am connected to the angelic realm. That's
Yeah.
where most of my information
Yeah.
comes from, is spirit guides and angels. Again, because I don't necessarily do the mediumship all that much. Although you had a great experience. I'm glad. Angel cards are just a different vibration.
Okay.
So they're basically the same. I should have brought a deck to show you, but they're basically the same. Tarot cards have like pentacles and different swords, different suits.
Yeah.
And angel cards are just specific words or pictures that are more angelic,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just a different vibration. Everything's energy, everything's frequency,
Yeah.
and
See, that's so
they're
cool.
they're pretty much positive. There's some cards that might indicate divorce or things like that, but they're all in a high vibration. And I'm not saying tarot cards are a negative vibration.
Yeah.
They're just a different energy.
Yeah.
It's all
An
it's all-
energy, yeah.
And we're all energy, and everything is energy.
Oh, I'm full of
so-
energy.
Right.
So
I can tell.
sure is.
Absolutely.
So that's so cool. So
Yeah.
if somebody were to come visit you, they'd have to like call and make an appointment and stuff.
Yep, I have a website. People can schedule it right through their website. My PayPal is linked to my website, so
Oh, that's
there's
awesome.
people can pay directly
Yeah.
without having to worry about it's
Yeah.
a safe way. But yeah, they can call me for an appointment, or they can schedule through the website. I'm in the process right now. I'm kind of excited. I'm in the process of putting some online classes together so that people outside of the local area can, because I also teach classes on intuition and things like that, and I'm kind of excited that I'm going to be able to offer this to people in other states and other countries because I'm going online with that. My readings already are online and
Yeah.
Skype, because I have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel that I can reach so many
Wow.
people. A lot of my clients, a lot of the
Technology
people
these
are
days,
from
yeah.
other countries or other states, and and I've never talked to them face to face. I do
Yeah.
all of my readings over the phone or through Skype, because everything
so
is
cool.
energy. All you need is energy. So
Yeah.
you tune into the aura or the energy of the person
Yeah.
over the phone or
So
through the Skype.
do you get a lot of people from all over the country?
I do.
You
I do.
That's so cool.
I would say at least 50% of my clients are out of
Wow.
state, and I don't have a lot out of the country, maybe 10% out of the country, but
Yeah.
out of the state for sure.
Yeah, but it's all word of mouth. Like,
is.
Yeah.
Word of mouth referrals.
Somebody saying they had a really great experience with you.
And I have a referral program, so if I do things to encourage my repeat clients as
Yeah.
well too. So
That's awesome.
because I love my clients.
That's so cool. How many people do you usually do a day? Would you say?
It
Depends on the day.
It
it
varies,
varies.
yeah.
Yeah, I like being self-employed as well too, because I like
That's
to
so
spend
cool.
time
It's
with my
your own
grandkids as
experience,
well
yeah.
too.
That's right.
It's your own schedule.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
It's exciting.
Does your family ask you to do any readings for them?
No, not specifically. No, and they weren't always the biggest believers at first, because at first
When I got into the spiritual aspect of things, I think they thought I was in a cult, because they were raised Catholic. My parents were raised Catholic, and they're kind of like, "What are you doing? All this hands-on energy work? You're hanging out with groups of people." They're like, "What's going on with you?" But they've definitely, since they've experienced the Reiki, and I've passed messages along to them now, they're very open to it. But they don't necessarily come to me and ask me for
I
messages.
feel like,
specifically.
you might have somebody that comes like every week.
Oh, see, yeah, I'd abuse
No,
that. I'd
no,
abuse
no.
that. Yeah.
I talk to my grandmother every day. She's one of my biggest guides, and
Yeah.
she passed when I was 3, but she's definitely around me on a regular
So do you
basis.
think she's who you got your gift from? Or,
Probably,
yeah,
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. Were
Yeah.
you and your grandmother close while she was here, or
You
'cause
know,
I know
I was
you were
3.
so young?
My
so-
mom says I'm exactly like her, and my
That's
granddaughter's
awesome.
exactly like me. I think we skip a
Oh, it
generation.
happened to my family
so,
too.
and my granddaughter has the gift as well too. So she's
Yeah.
only 5, but she's definitely
you know it's there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's so cool. I still can't believe you have grandchildren. You
Well, thank
look
you.
so young.
Good genes, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to try to cultivate that with your granddaughter, or does your daughter not want you to? Or
You know, we don't really go there in conversation. I know what spirit is showing me, and I don't want to push anything on anybody till she's a little bit older. But
She has a fascination with gemstones and crystals, and every time she comes to my house, she takes out my rocks, she takes out my angel card. She's always
knows.
she just is. She's got a natural affinity to it.
right.
so she'll take out. The other day, I had my crystal Bible out with all the pictures of the
Yeah.
stones, and she's going through. Oh, Grammy, look, there's this one and this one, and she's got her own container at my house of all of hers.
Yeah.
So you know, she's just naturally into the gemstones and the crystals.
It'll just
but
fall into place.
It
for
will.
her. Yeah.
I see us doing work together as she gets older.
That's so cool.
I think we're on a path that way. Yeah.
Lisa, does one case like really come to your mind, like something that really surprised, kind of like a Bonnie's situation? Can you think of one in the past where it surprised them and it surprised you?
You know, I had an interesting. A couple years ago, I had somebody come to my house, and I was doing a reading for them, and I was passing all this information along to them. I mean, it was, and again, I hate to say it was mediumship because it's really not my strongest suit. I don't want people. If people come to me and ask me for a straight mediumship reading, I refer them to somebody else because mediumship comes to me when it comes to me. It's not something that
Something
I
you
can
can do
call
off the bat,
upon.
yeah.
You know, but some mediums can. The differences between psychics and mediums is I'm connected to the angelic realm, and guides and the medium connects to the deceased loved ones, which doesn't always come through for me. But in this particular instance, I was talking to their loved one and passing along messages. He kept showing me that he looked like James Brolin, and I kept telling her that over and over, and she's like, she's looking at me like I'm crazy, and she's like, I don't know who you're talking about, and he's showing me what ended up being the Masonic symbol. Right, and I didn't know what it was called, but I was describing it to her, and he was showing me all that. He talked to me about a badge, a police officer. He gave me very, very specific things. She looked at me across the table the whole time, like I had 4 heads. She didn't know what I was talking about. I'm thinking, what am I doing? In my head, I'm thinking, I'm hearing what I'm hearing, and I'm passing it along.
Yeah.
What's going on, you know? So I said to her, I'm sorry, you know, you'll have to let me know, what, you know, if this ever makes sense to you. Because sometimes when you're talking to people at the time, their mind is going in so many different directions, they can't process it, but later on, so this was Friday night. Saturday afternoon, she texts me or emails me, and she goes, oh my God. She's like, I don't know why it didn't hit me. She says, but I'm driving home. And she goes, as I'm driving home, a police officer passed by me. She said, and all of a sudden, things started clicking in my head, like I knew, you know, who you were talking about, and I had an idea. She said, I went home and I talked to my mom. She said, I asked my mom, and she said it was my uncle, and she said he did look just like James Brolin, and he was, you know, he had the Masonic thing, whatever. But I mean, I was thinking, oh my God, like what? Why can't she connect? Yeah, but you know, had some
then it all
cool,
came
yeah.
together.
So I felt really good about that after, but.
So sometimes it doesn't click with people right off
Not
the
at the
bat.
time because
Okay.
they might be thinking they're expecting a
Yeah.
particular person to come through and they're so
Yeah, yeah,
focused.
yeah.
And again, whoever comes through, whether it's your angels, your guides, or your deceased loved one, is whoever is the strongest
Yeah,
and has
that's so
the
cool.
most to say.
Oh, my nanny would be
I'm sure.
chatting you up.
Right? So I've had some nice
That's so
experiences
cool.
like that, and I've had some really, you know, I feel like one of the main things that I like to do is empowerment. You know, my website is all about personal empowerment, moving souls from imprisonment to empowerment, and it's all about feeling unstuck from an area of your life that you're stuck in, because all of us at one point or another have been stuck in a relationship, a financial situation, a work thing. You know, we all get stuck and we don't know which way to go. And so when your guides or your angels come through and they pass that information along to you, and you're so stuck and you can't even see any way out, and then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off in the person that I'm talking to, and they're like, oh my God, I know what direction I have to go in, and now I know what steps I have to take. That's why I do this job. That's why I love what I do. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so rewarding
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
so cool.
Yeah. So that's been happening a lot more lately. I think I don't know if we could talk about this or not, but we're in a 9-year numerology wise. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that.
I'm not, no.
Tell us about that.
So 9 numerology, if you add up the 2016,
Comes to a 9.
Right.
So globally, we're all in a 9-year.
Oh,
with,
the- okay.
1-6,
yeah,
okay,
2016,
right.
yeah, which is 9s are endings. Ways of thinking are being ended. Relationships are ending. Patterns, behaviors,
you know, whatever's not working for you in your life,
this
Yeah.
is the year,
That it's gonna
2016, that
end.
you are going to finish it, put an end to it, or clear it out. You're going to let go and release what's not working for you in this year, whether it's in a relationship, a job, or whatever. It could be a personal belief too. So again, because we're in a 9-year, there's a lot of relationships ending that people have been in for so long that aren't working. There's a lot of people that have been stuck in a career, they want to change and they didn't know how to get out of it. And that's happening because the universe is pushing that on us, whether we want it or not. They're making it happen so that we can start next year in 2017 in a 1-year.
Like a
And
fresh-
ones are beginnings, and it's a whole nother 9-year cycle that starts next year.
That's so cool.
with
So
a
what
1.
does each year stand for, if you don't mind going
I don't
through?
know all the
You don't,
numbers
yeah.
specifically. I know that 1s are beginnings. I
And
know 9s are endings, and
which
I
is
know.
so cool to
And I
think
know if
about.
all of you were to think last year was an 8, and 8s are supposed to be the most challenging year ever. So I don't know if
Oh.
you look back on your life. I can tell you from my personal experience, I had the most challenging year ever last year with an 8. I don't know.
I would have to say last year was pretty challenging.
Yeah.
So.
So if it's not always for everybody, but a lot of times it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. That's so cool. So what's your website if people want to go and sign up?
It is my name, LisaOuellet.com. So
Oh, that's
it's-
simple.
Yeah, LisaOuellet, right?
That's
.com.
pretty awesome. That's pretty great.
Very good.
Well, I don't have any further questions.
Any other questions?
There's so many in my head.
I know. On me, I just want to sign up.
That's
so
right. That's exactly right.
that's awesome.
I have a lot, yeah. So if you think of anything, just
Reach out to me after.
Yeah, that's so cool. And
Well, you did mention about the Zodiacs.
Yep.
So how do you tie that in? Because I found that fascinating.
Sure.
through the
I have a
years,
YouTube channel. So I do free videos every single month.
that's cool.
So if you were to look up, and I do them by your zodiac sign. So instead of, so I'll do an Aries video for 10 minutes, a Taurus video, a Cancer, Scorpio, whatever. I'll do a 10 to 12 minute video per each sign, and that way you can watch it, that way you can also watch your moon sign or your rising sign to get a more complete picture as well too.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people say, wow, I know it's a general reading, because
Right.
clearly it's not specific.
Right.
And so I always tell
that's
people,
so-
if you want a more specific reading, you'd want to come one-on-one. But
I'd
these are
rather,
pretty, but these
I'd
are
rather
pretty
listen
general.
to yours than read the People, because I
Yeah.
feel like the
Right, yeah.
People magazine version is
Oh
just off
yeah,
the charts.
well the little paragraph that
Yeah,
they write.
yeah, I'm like, that's
I'm
not true.
tuning into my guides and I'm
Yeah,
listening
see,
to the
that's-
messages
that's
that they're
legit,
saying.
so.
So I'm giving a reading that way,
I'll have
but
to
that's how
tune
I
in.
tie it into astrology, because I believe that. I know it's very general too. Astrology is.
But it can be so fitting so often. And you
It's
can tell this
serendipitous.
person is a Virgo. This
Absolutely.
person is it's shocking.
Oh,
when I was a
absolutely.
teacher, you could often with children in the
'Cause
workplace, you
personality
can
types
the
and
everything.
strengths,
Yeah.
the weaknesses,
Yeah.
what you find irritating, what you find
Oh,
you're drawn
absolutely.
to. It's,
I can
it's
tell
an
you from
interesting
personal
sign.
experience, my whole family, we're all fire signs. Well, like I'm an Aries with a Leo rising. My daughter's a Leo with a Leo rising. My 2 grandkids are Aries and Leo. My son-in-law is Leo. Like, we are all like passionate, fiery explosion all the time when we're together.
What do you tell in terms of fire? What are the
Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo.
are all fire?
Fire
What is
signs.
Taurus?
Taurus is an Earth. Taurus,
Oh,
Virgo,
okay.
and Capricorn are Earth. Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces are water.
Okay.
Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini are air.
That's so
And
cool.
air signs generally, this is a generalization again, are usually really quick-witted. They have a quick retort, quick comeback,
Yeah,
like
I'm
so
definitely
funny,
not
so
air.
witty. And earth signs are very grounded. They like to think before they act, and then think again.
I don't know if I'm
and
Earth
then think
either.
again.
Sorry, I don't know if that's me.
Are you a Taurus?
I'm fire. I'm usually on fire.
Are you a Taurus?
I'm a
sign?
Taurus.
But it could be your rising sign. Your rising sign is how people perceive you.
Okay,
So
that's
that
a good
is
thing.
where
Okay.
you were,
All right.
where the moon was at the time of your birth.
Trying to
So
think.
you'd have to look at it on a chart. probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really,
Yeah, it's your ascendant, your rising sign.
I mean, you are a ball of energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I would have guessed fire sign for you too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe I should.
My husband and I
You
are
might be on the
both-
cusp too.
May 18th.
No, you're not. on the
no.
cusp.
See, I'm right on the cusp.
I'm a
but
Yeah.
Leo Virgo, so I'm
Okay.
like, you know, which is interesting. And what your husband, Kathy?
My husband and I are both Aries.
Ooh, I'm an Aries, fellow Arian.
My husband. Oh, Bonnie, that's
Air 5
interesting.
Bonnie.
So that's interesting. On the show, you're technically you're a Virgo.
August 22nd. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, some places say Leo, many say
Right.
Virgo, some, so I
Okay.
always say I'm on the cusp
So
of
there's
Leo,
a potential of 2 fire and 2 earth, or a potential of 3 earth and 1 fire on this show. That's
It's
interesting.
It really, yeah.
I should really be a fire.
Yep, you
But if you
should.
should check out some of your other things, you could be
That's
very
so cool.
strong.
Absolutely.
in,
Yeah,
Which I
yep.
bet.
You
yeah.
could have a
so
lot
cool.
of
I'd love
fire
to
in your
see,
chart.
yeah.
If you were to look, your
moon and
I'd love to
your Mars
see.
sign is where
That's so
your
cool.
your passion is. And
Yeah. Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And even with your children and all too, as you were saying, I find it fascinating, you know, like depending on what their sign is and you know, how you interact or with
Oh, yeah.
neighbors or it's
You can
just a
you can see
fascinating
it,
study.
especially with I don't want to say Leo because I have a Leo rising, but Leos like to be the center of attention. And so when you have a lot of Leos in your family and they're all vying to be number one, it's challenging sometimes. So
Absolutely.
Gets loud.
you all want to hear, you want to be heard over the rest,
Yeah.
you know? So
That's awesome.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of how this started, too interesting with the personalities because, you know, we had the idea, but then when the 4 of us just started talking and like we are now, you know, sometimes it's like, but it's just a great dynamic
you have a
between
great-
all
you
of
do
us.
have a great dynamic.
You know?
So.
And we're still new to it and we're trying to figure out, like,
Yeah.
it's one thing when you're talking at an event or at a meeting and
And
now
then
here
it's
we are with
another.
the lights and the action and the cameras.
Right.
You know,
It's a
but
lot different.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
it
think,
is
you know,
a lot
each
different.
time we're going to, because once we get, it feels so natural, but,
Yeah.
but that has a lot to do with
Well,
the
intuitively,
signs.
I feel like you guys are going to do really well. So
Oh,
Very good.
we'll bring you back.
Yes, that's very
I'd love to come
exciting.
back.
God,
That's
thank
awesome.
Did you have any other questions for me? No?
Maybe mention your website again for
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
too,
sure.
because yeah.
Yep, it's lisawillette.com. People can follow me on Facebook too. I'm very interactive on Facebook. I have every Tuesday I do an intuition exercise. Every Friday I give away a free gift, whether it's a free reading or a piece of jewelry or incense or a deck of cards or whatever. I have a freebie Friday contest where, you know, I give away
That's
things.
really fun.
And I put lots of motivational, inspiring posts out there. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we just friend you on Facebook.
It's Lisa Willette Psychic. It's my
Oh.
business
So we
Oh.
like
page.
her.
Yeah, you
So
like
like
the
button.
page.
You
Yeah.
like the page,
Yep,
okay.
the like
I'm
button.
still so new to
Oh, that's
with the
okay.
Facebook and all I try.
Now,
but
We'll do
when
it
you-
tomorrow.
All right, well, when
Figure
you
it out
do
tomorrow.
you know, like the horoscopes,
Yeah.
is that a monthly thing that
I
you
do
do
the
every
videos
month?
every month. Yep, and I usually put them out the last day or the day before the end of the month, or usually, but they're always out by the first of each month generally. Yep. So you can, if you go on my YouTube channel, which is Lisa Willette, again, it's my name. Everything is my name.
Keeps it
easy
simple.
to
It does
Yeah.
make it simple.
Yeah.
But if you go on my YouTube page, you'll be able. I have a playlist, and you can look at each month. So under the August
Okay.
playlist, you can find it by your. You go to Aries, and by
Right.
the way, Aries is going to have a good August, just so you know.
Nice to
Taurus.
know.
I don't remember Taurus.
That's okay.
specifically, but I
I'll
remember
tune in.
Aries.
I'll tune in.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for
Well,
coming and like
it was my
spending
pleasure.
time with us
Yeah.
and answering questions that I didn't even know, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because again, kind of like Bonnie, I was like, it's not something I necessarily believe in,
Right.
but hearing other people's experiences
Right.
and hearing you face to face and answering the questions that I had, it's something I'm definitely more open to.
Yeah. And the other thing that I know you guys didn't ask me this, but a lot of times too, if you're going to like a psychic fair, you go to a fair. Like I was the only psychic there that
Yes.
day, so I was really the only choice whether you wanted a reading or not. But I will tell you that if you go into a place where there's multiple psychics or mediums
Yeah.
reading, sometimes you'd be like, well, how do I know which one to go to? You know, they all look different. They all have a different energy. And I always tell people just kind of go with your gut. I'm not offended if people don't come to me. I resonate with the people that I'm meant to
Yeah.
read, and then the people that don't want
I
a
like
reading
what you
with
had to
me.
say, so-
Yeah,
Yeah.
they, you know, then they're clearly meant to be read by somebody else.
Yeah,
and
see, I picture psychics as like those people around the crystal balls.
Right.
You see the Disney movies with the hats on, and I'm
gypsy
like, the
looking.
gypsy looking.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, she's cool.
I know people don't think I'm a psychic by the way I look. So
Yeah, no, but that's awesome. I liked what you had to say and where you're
thank you.
coming from. So
yeah,
So now you're
I try
gonna
to be
have to
approachable.
schedule a
no, you
reading.
do. Yeah, well,
Yes,
yeah.
both
Lisa
of us,
Ouellet.
yes.
Lisa Ouellet. Yeah.
Ouellet? Okay, you're gonna have to spell that out for me after.
Actually,
I'll give you a card after.
Okay,
yeah, I was
perfect.
going to say, I still have my card.
Oh, okay.
Bonnie brought it with her.
It might even be a good little start or intro to our third show, you
Yeah.
know, how it went, because where we haven't, or, you know, that's exciting.
The only person I can think of is my nanny. She and I were pretty close, and she passed away about about 6 years ago, and she's a chatterbox. So just mentally prepare
and,
yourself.
and that might be the experience you get, or
Yeah.
you might connect with one of your angels and guides that has something
Yeah.
more specific to
That's
tell
so
you
cool.
true about, you know,
Different
relationships
times,
or
different
or
I always like to
or
hear about
work
that stuff.
situations or whatever. Yeah.
I was totally surprised when it was my great-grandmother.
Yeah.
Because
You never
Great
expected
I was a
it.
child when she passed, you know, so it's not someone that I was,
You
you know,
knew.
close to.
Yeah.
Were you the one that had the lady come through that was on roller skates? Or no, tap shoes?
Tap dancing,
I remember this. I did, okay.
my husband's grandmother.
Really?
She was in vaudeville.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
That's so cool.
And she said, there's a woman here and she's showing me she's a tap dancer. I'm like, oh my God, it's Nanny.
You don't see
What
that every
are the
day, right?
chances?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It is. It's
Sometimes they're very
amazing.
specific with
Yeah,
me, you know?
that's so cool.
And again,
Yeah.
I love it when they're specific
Yeah.
because mediumship is not my strongest gift. I find it a little challenging sometimes to change energetically.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a psychic reading and I'm reading energy up here, the mediumship energy is just a different vibration. It's not
Yeah.
higher or lower. It's just
Yeah.
a different. I have to shift energy, and
Yeah.
sometimes I don't hear them as clearly as I hear my angels and my guides.
Yeah,
But again, you both had that was the same day. You both had
Yes, we
experiences
did
that
have-
day with
yeah.
very strong people from the other
Specific.
side.
Yeah.
I know we're a little
Yeah.
left out over here,
That's
but
okay.
we'll catch up. We'll catch up. We'll catch up.
All right.
So,
I look forward to it.
yes, that's true.
Well, that was very interesting.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
You ladies
good
have
to
a beautiful
have
energy.
you.
Aw. And we have an email address too, like if you would like to see another guest besides Lisa, which we would love for you to come back.
Oh, sure.
It's the Londonderry View, the number 4 @gmail.com. We'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts and other guests you might want to see. So,
And want to thank everybody, all our viewers, for watching us, and hope to see you back again.
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.